So do you see this as missionary activity? You're over here trying to convert Jeremy Clarkson.
I don't think there'll be any converting of Jeremy Clarkson. Okay. That seems quite unlikely.
God, they've come on. We have a Tesla Model X in the new series, and it's a lot of it's very impressive. It's a really interesting new way of looking at what a car is. I liked it. Well, Elon Musk, I mean, the first time I reviewed a Tesla, he sued me and lost, and then he appealed and lost that as well. You know, it was a hard-hitting review, but it was a fair one.
Clarkson's show is much more about entertainment than it is about truth. And I think most people realize that, but not everyone. What happened to the Top Gear debacle over the Tesla Roadster? And this is basically where Top Gear falsely implied that the Tesla Roadster had run out of energy when they tested it, which it didn't. In fact, because the whole vehicle is a detailed computer log, so we can see it. And then also when we dropped the car off, one of our guys happened to see a script sitting on the table. He'd already dropped the car off, and so reading through the script, and in the script the car breaks down. We're like, wait a second, you wrote the script before we even gave you the car. So there's something wrong about that, and you wouldn't think it was. We were hoping it wouldn't be that bad, but then when we did the Tesla IPO roadshow, we just got one investor after another asking us why our car broke down in Top Gear, particularly in Europe. Every investor we met with in Europe asked us why our car broke down, and I was like, well, this is ridiculous. So, and then to add salt to the wound, Top Gear just kept repeating that episode.
The motor's overheating and I've got reduced power.
While it cooled down, we went to get the silver car out again, only to find that while it was being charged, its brakes had broken. No! So then, with the light fading, we had no cars at all. The first electric car that you might actually want to buy. It's just a shame that in the real world, it doesn't seem to work. Batteries. We on this show have some experience of electrical fires in a crash. And this has the same sort of batteries that the Rimac had.
Yeah, that was in a crash, wasn't it? Drove off an edge and rolled down two hillsides.
What, you're saying Richard
right?
Hammond's too small to steer with the steering wheel?
I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying that was a crash.
Battery-powered electric cars will soon die altogether.
No, we are looking forward to that film. Well, I am anyway.
What people don't understand is that if you crash an electrical car and it has lithium-ion batteries, it could catch fire. And often the fire brigade will turn up and they've only got water on board. So as you're sitting there on fire, you're then being electrocuted. It's just something that's worth bearing in mind, isn't it?
Well, I think we should make it clear that we're not suggesting that these cars have any inherent defect.
I mean, look what happened with Samsung with their batteries.
Oh, we're not going to start defaming Samsung, are we?
I mean, BMW literally has several thousand fires every year in their cars.
VW, yeah.
Yes. So I'm not sure I'd be startled by one in an electric car.
Lithium-ion has been a subject of discussion this year, for obvious reasons with the Boeing story. Do you think that you are going to get extra scrutiny as a result of the technology that's being used? Now, clearly, you're not a Dreamliner, you're not flying up at 37,000 feet, but nevertheless, do you think the technology is more in the spotlight now than it probably has ever been in the evolution of the product?
Whenever you've got a new technology, there's always more attention paid to it than current technology, and the standard of safety is higher for a new technology than for an existing technology. The issue with the Boeing lithium-ion pack was not that it caught fire, but that it spontaneously caught fire for no reason. That's
probably
the
was
issue.
a reason. Yep.
Well, there was a reason.
Yep.
But it wasn't as though there was a crash or somebody shot it or anything like that. It was just in a normal flight, and it just caught fire. So, in our case, it was hit by a large piece of metal at high speed. And if that were to have, say, punctured a gasoline tank or gasoline supply lines, the car would have been in a conflagration. It would have burnt to the ground.
There are, however, some drawbacks. But before talking about those, Mr. Willman said I should fill the remaining 6 seats with a team of lawyers.
I think the battery is a good analogy for libel law and reviews generally, in that you have to it has to be balanced. You must have the positive and you must have the negative. Should we bear that in mind?
No, what we should bear in mind is that, what I've just written on the screen.
So who knows how the lawsuit will go, but it's still working its way through the British courts. And our demands are pretty simple. It's just like stop playing that falsely, stop playing the episode where you falsely claim that, or imply that our car broke down. Seems like a reasonable thing to ask for.
First thing I want to talk about is range, because Tesla say this will do 351 miles between charges, but in my experience, electric cars never do the range that...
How extensive is your experience, Jeremy?
How many electric cars have you driven?
2.
Ah.
Both of them failed to do the range that the manufacturer said they would do. Because it depends on temperature, it depends on a million things. And anyway...
As you've said, legally, we need to make very clear, it depends.
An earlier Tesla received a very rough ride from the BBC's Top Gear programme.
Well, I wouldn't paint all of BBC with Top Gear's brush.
I see. So what do you really think of Jeremy Clarkson?
I'm actually a great fan of the BBC. I was surprised to learn Top Gear was even on the BBC.
So what do you think of Jeremy Clarkson?
I think, well, Clarkson's show is much more about entertainment than it is about truth. And I think most people realize that, but not everyone. And I've actually enjoyed a lot of his shows, so it's not as though I just hate Top Gear or anything. He can be very funny and irreverent, but he does have a strong bias against electric cars, and he particularly seems to hate American. Like his 2 pet peeves are American cars and electric cars, and we're an American electric car, so we're in the worst possible situation for someone like Clarkson.
So do you see this as missionary activity? You're over here trying to convert Jeremy Clarkson.
I don't think there'll be any converting of Jeremy Clarkson.
Okay.
That seems quite unlikely.
Most people are not driving like a maniac like you.
I'm not. I'm doing 34 miles an hour.
At the moment.
But so that we're clear, we completely accept that this car can do 351 miles between charges, don't we?
I don't know, I haven't tried it.
Well, I think we should accept that if that's what Tesla says and we don't have any evidence to the contrary.
What, you just take what a car manufacturer says as being gospel?
Well,
Vauxhall says its cars are exciting.
I wouldn't wish to contradict them on television unless we had strong evidence to the contrary.
Many of our customers, particularly those in dense urban areas, understand the difficulty in finding a legal parking spot. An over-the-air software update will be going out to vehicles that allows Model S to automatically detect the presence of a meter maid or law enforcement officer. If Model S detects an imminent ticket, it will deploy countermeasures to deter the ticket writer. The windshield wipers and washers will be activated, deterring the ticket writer. In the event that the ticket issuer persists, Model S will enter ticket avoidance mode. In ticket avoidance mode, the vehicle will autonomously drive in circles around the block until the ticket issuing threat is no longer detected. If the threat of the ticket has passed, the vehicle will park in its original parking spot. Otherwise, it will continue to drive around the block. A message will be pushed via the mobile app alerting the user that ticket avoidance mode has been activated and Model S is on the move. The autonomous driving summon feature will automatically be activated in ticket avoidance mode, and Model S will come and pick you up. With parking ticket deterrence and ticket avoidance mode, Model S has you covered. Long forgotten will be the days of parking tickets, or, as we like to call them, receipts for premium parking.